Ndị be anyị kenekwa m unu. Asị m ka nke onye chiri ya zelu. Asị na ụbọchị nke taa dịrị unu na mma. Na ihe adị ka echi na echi ada agwụ agwụ. Otu anyị kwuru otu akwa ya dịrịrị. Ise ise dịka o si dị ebe anyị si bụ na-ewetere ya bụ ozi a n'ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa bụ Eastern News 24. Ya bụ ife bụ gbasara maka ya bụ ife na-eme n'obodo anyị nọ n'ime ya and mkpụrụ onwe ndị Igbo na-azọ n'iru akwụkwọ. Ya bụ according to one of the Biafran activists, Phelan Bees. Alright, o nwere okwu n'iru akwụkwọ mana tupu anyị gosi ya bụ ife ka ntị elu na obele azụ. Mana okwu Maazị Nnamdi Kanu kwuru na court on 10th of February. Ngwa gị the impact of this in Biafran struggle, you'll be shocked. The hidden secret has been unveiled and the UN, AU, African Union, United Nations, USA, amago the deep things na-aga n'ime obodo a akpọ Nigeria. Nagwu na eziokwu. Gegodi na ya bụ ife anyị ji maka ya wee bịa. Right, over to you.
Timely and expected, because when it's clear that maybe you have like legal proceedings allegedly in place, but it's clear that the court is not ready to serve justice. You know, there has been this back and forth, whether to seek for political solution or legal. And sometimes when you move it towards political, back against the legal, and even the legal proceedings are not respected. So you have judgment and counter judgment. And one would wonder, you know, just like I think Nnamdi Kanu must have looked at it realistically to tell himself, to what ends? Where is this going to be like? Is this not really be like incarcerating me for life? You know, so I just have to give it like a fighting chance, you know, to really once more, you know, make this a front burner issue as it ought to be. Because clearly trying to play the gentleman certainly is not going to work in his favor.
Okay, observing the events thus far and all the litigations and whatnot, there's a statement which is made that the Nigerian state and the judiciary, you know, they have struck an unholy and fraudulent alliance. Regarding to, you know, what's happening and looking at this case from 2021 up until now, do you think there is kind of truth in this allegation?
Yeah, certainly, because he cited instances. What made him believe that there's that unholy alliance? First and foremost, you know, citing a case of the Nigerian Constitution, you know, the very fact that a judgment was already, you know, given, and considering the fact that even the federal government did not obey the judgment, why would there not be like a need for like a stay of execution, right? You know, being that a judgment already has been given, and I mean, that is not the law. And clearly he states that and say, well, this is not fair to me. You know, why does this seem to, you know, why does it seem different when it has to do with my own case? It says, is this no longer like the position of the law? And when you also look at the way he was brought back into Nigeria, the extraordinary rendition, there is everything wrong about that particular process. And by the virtue of that, like he cited, and like, I mean, the appellate court also has, you know, tend to agree with that, is that, that by that very singular thing, you know, no court, you know, has that jurisdiction, you know, since fundamentally, and the premise with which the trial was commenced is faulty.
Yes. All right. I mean, let's come now to you, Chief Emperor Bona. Now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu insists that the chief judge has no power to force a lawyer on a case that he could have actually appealed in court before sending the lawyer back. So you are aware of Justice Binta Nyako recusing herself, and then according to her explanation, the chief judge put her back on the case, among other things, because she has been following this case since 2015, and she has a lot of knowledge on the intricacies and technicalities of the case. Now, can you tell us if the chief judge actually has the power, the jurisdiction, to put Justice Binta Nyako back on a case that she previously recused herself from without going through the legal process of appealing such a recusal? Chief Emperor, go ahead if you're with us. I think we've lost him there, probably poor network, but let's come back to you. Would you like to react to that?
Okay, so basically, just like, I mean, one of the things anyone could identify Mazi for is the very fact that he's quite very knowledgeable. And, you know, just like the law is not only applicable to lawyers and to the court, but to everyone in the society. just like our health. And having a sound knowledge about that and your rights would actually make you to, display your assertiveness when needed and to demand, that the right thing be done. And I think looking at his position and the very fact also that he was able to present a previous judgment as gazetted, referencing it saying, this is the Nigeria law. All I'm demanding for is to respect that. That if a judge recuses, him or herself in a certain case, then you can't force it on that particular person, right? So if that is the position of the law, then I think that should be respected. Rather than just force someone. And the very fact that, I'm not a lawyer, but there's this statement that lawyers always say, that justice must not only be done, but must be seen to be done. So what that means is that if someone says, come on, I don't have confidence in you, right? And decide to withdraw the case or even apply, then that should be respected. That person is not like the emblem or the only symbol of law in that particular society. The person is only saying, it happens also in football matches.
Yes.
When for whatever reason you have every reason to say, I don't have confidence in this umpire.
Okay, it's been said that regarding the extraordinary rendition, regarding on how Nnamdi Kanu was brought into the country, that there's no case till something that was fault is fixed. It was Abdel Farouk Simi, a lawyer, and with his book Nigeria and its criminal justice system, exposing the rots in the judiciary. Now, Nnamdi Kanu is crying out loud, saying that this same judiciary, the way the case is being approached, is not fair to him. In all this right now, we would say that the judiciary system in Nigeria is no longer the last hope of a common man to get justice.
Yeah, certainly. Like over time, right? Just like one executive was cited as quoting that currently we don't have 3 arms of government, but the Trinity. You understand? And that unholy alliance defies the very essence of separation of power. The principle of separation of powers, which should make it that each arm of power should be able to serve as a check on the other. Well, it does appear that whether you're looking at the legislators, where even executive now install the leadership of the House, whether it's at the federal or at the state, we see like it's whoever the governor or the president wants, they eventually emerge. And then also we see like the level of influence also, even when it has to do with cases in the courts. So with such kind of, judiciary allowing itself and its powers to be cowed by the judiciary, it certainly cannot, it can no longer be said to be true that the judiciary remains the last hope of the common man, but actually a place of, a kind of an instrument or a weapon, to the strong and to the elites.
Yeah.
You understand? And the executive, which they can use it well at will to actually further advance their political objectives. Because this whole issue, if you look at it, it ought to be like an issue of like reviewing what is this young man saying? Does it really constitute terrorism and all of the things that is being said? Looking at it clearly from a legal standpoint, but we see it's more of political. Keep him there, let him suffer, let him just for no just reason.
So now you have still not responded, giving us your reaction to how he handled matters during his last hearing. Do you think that he had the leeway to react the way he did because he was heated? Just briefly, how did you feel about that, his reaction?
Yeah, like honestly, like I did mention, I actually reacted to that. I said that very timely. Because where else you expect like his deliverance or something?
Okay, now away from that, some people are saying that he should have even stopped going to court in the first place. That if he knows that court no longer has jurisdiction to handle his case, that why even go? Whether it be for respect of the court for the court or not, that he shouldn't have kept going. Are you of that school of thought?
Well, let me say something. If even in the next court, the court insists that he must be brought to the court, and then the crown is not beyond Nigeria. That's the simple truth. TSS will find a way. 500 million like he alleged is enough, to muster all of the firepower, the strength to make him appear, in the court. After all, like people can even be compelled to say the truth, You understand? There could be forceful arrest, forceful detention, even his own case. So if they were able to move him from another country to appear in Nigeria, is it now when he's within Nigeria and with the secret police that bring him to the court? But what we are actually saying is that the very question before us is whether the mannerism.
ndị be anyị ngwadalụ dị ine dịkwu nsi were sore n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uruchi nke taa ka ife were ikwu gbasata maka ya bụ ife ndị a niile anyị ji maka ya wee bịa n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụbọchị uruchi nke taa na Eastern News 24 ka ife were ikwu drọpụrụ anyị fiche n'ụdị nke gị ihe niile na nwanne nwoke gwuru n'iru akwụkwọ maka emesịa na ụmụnne m